What's up guys, I'm Vice and I've been coaching people guitar for a few years now, and one of the most common issues people come to me with is struggling to play fast. And after helping over 100 guitarists, I realized there are 5 main issues that they all struggled with. And in today's video I'm going to go over all of them and I believe make you play faster just from watching it. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and let's get to playing. The first thing stopping you from reaching your desired speed oftentimes is how you hold your pick. And while there are many ways to hold your pick, I believe I tried most of them, and this is what works best for me. And how am I doing it exactly? I think the best way to look at it is making an Italian OK sign and then just grabbing your index finger with your thumb. And of course putting your pick between the fingers. As for the other fingers, they should float naturally without clenching them or straightening too much. For even more control, you can connect the index and the middle finger, so you have even more control over your pick. The second thing is not playing from your wrist and using your entire elbow or just the fingertips. I also tried all of those ways, and when I started I was actually an elbow player and it was very limiting. It all comes down to control and dynamics. With your elbow you're moving your entire hand and you really don't control the strings that well. And if you're using just your fingertips, it's the opposite. You're picking very lightly and can't hit the strings heavily. Or even worse is when you're mixing the motions and, for example, using your fingertips at a slower tempo and engaging your wrist at a faster one. In this case, whatever you practiced slow doesn't transfer at all to playing faster. And the only exception is engaging your elbow when you're picking very fast and you just can't squeeze any more BPM out of your wrist. But the motion you should avoid at all costs is picking with your fingertips. And now up close, this is how the wrist motion should look. You want your wrist to be loose enough so it can dance a little, but try to hold your pick pretty strong. If I tense up and try to play from the elbow, I completely lose control over my guitar. And playing from the joints can be really tiring, and it only works if you have a lot of distortion or compression on. The third thing that's probably stopping you from playing fast is using the V motion when playing on a string. And what that is that instead of using just one axis when playing on a single string and moving the pick up and down, you're kind of dipping into the string and raising after each pick stroke. And it's pretty much impossible to speed up that motion. The V motion is something like this. As you see, I'm not just cutting the string up and down, but lowering and raising it after each pick stroke. If you want to play fast, you should try to keep the movement as straight as possible, just going up and down. So another problem is not having a second support under your wrist and playing from the air. As you see, when I play, my wrist is laying flat on the bridge, and it gives me great control over anything I'm playing, and I always have a reference point. When it comes to wrist support, it should lay naturally on the bridge. This way you have the range over all of the strings, and the range of your motion perfectly aligns with how much the 6 strings take on your guitar. Not having the wrist supported can lead to lack of precision or control over your dynamics. And the fifth reason, and probably the most advanced one, is if you don't have a wrist rotation motion when switching strings. So if you applied everything I said earlier, your motion should look like this. But what do you do if you want to switch the strings? And that's when the wrist rotation comes in. If I wanted to switch the D string to the G string, I would get blocked between them instantly. But what I can do to avoid that is to rotate my wrist before jumping the strings. And if picking the other way, playing the string, then rotating your wrist and playing the string down. So a really good exercise I have for switching the strings is playing 3 notes on one string and 1 on the next one. And these are actually 2 exercises you can do for the outside and inside string switching. So the first one looks like this. I play down, up, rotate the wrist, play down, rotate the wrist again, play up, and repeat. And the other way is starting with an upstroke, playing 2 notes, playing the third, rotating the wrist, playing down, rotating the wrist again, and repeating. And this applies to a single string as much as it does to playing a scale or a lick across many strings. So these are the 5 reasons I found to be the most common among guitarists who say that they can't play fast. Has any of the tips been useful to you, or do you want me to go into more detail with them? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.